few questions related to our recent launch, that is Cloud Vulnerability Scanner. So Shikhil, you have to answer all the questions I have for you today. So are you ready?
I'm not, because I was not given any brief or what these questions would be. We were literally on a
Yeah.
call on a completely different topic, but I'll be happy to answer if, since you decided that you want to record this, so let's do that. But to answer your question, no, I'm not prepared, but I'll manage.
Okay, so like during the launch and like after the launch, there is a thing that many people are confusing Cloud Vulnerability Scanner with the CSPM tools that we have in the market. So why is Astra not like any other CSPM tool in the market?
Got it. Oh, that's an interesting question, because CSPMs themselves have evolved, like the CSPM tools which started a few years ago have evolved into CNAP and various other things, right? Uh, for us, it's been very different. We've been always laser focused at uncovering vulnerabilities for our customers which have impact, and very particular about noise is to signal ratio, because that's how I kind of operate in life also. I try to like totally focus on signal and not at all on noise. So that's why we didn't really initially call this tool as a CSPM, because even though it checks all the boxes, but we thought that it might make sense to actually start by calling it a cloud vulnerability scanner, because that's where bottoms up work well, because that's something that I feel is is something that we are great at, where we are catering to uh, mid-market or even startups, or basically customers who are just starting their cloud journey. They also should get high quality security, right? But on day one, probably they cannot afford a costly CSPM.
Yeah.
Even if they can, they do not have the right tooling in place to actually get that CSPM in place. So CSPM as a word can get a little intimidating for them.
Yeah.
So we thought that we'll start by calling it a cloud vulnerability scanner.
Yeah.
And what I've also realized working with a few CSPM is that because that is that most CSPMs tell you what might be wrong,
Yeah.
but not necessarily what can be exploited.
Yeah.
So for us, the idea was like not another dashboard, but we wanted something which is continuous validation for modern engineering and security teams. So that's why.
Even I also feel that CSPM tools can get overwhelming for startups or mid-sized company, because they might not need all the features that a CSPM tool has to offer. And Astra makes it very simple to just scan the misconfigurations and vulnerabilities and get the reports like instantly.
Absolutely. And that's true to our flywheel that we love. And interestingly, this is something that now enterprises that we work with also really value, that, our flywheel is pretty simple.
Yeah.
We do not rely on just standard CV feeds. We do thousands of pen tests every year. Across your cloud environment, across your APIs, web apps, and we put detections. We create detections using our attack AI engine, which are from real world vulnerabilities that came in from these pen tests. So that's something that makes tools that we create, including Cloud Vulnerability Scanner, also more effective,
Yeah.
because that ensures that it's I would say 90% signal and 10% noise. So our customers get what they should act upon, and not just, hey, you might want to check this, hey, you might want to check this. No, I feel that's organizations of any size are already dealing with enough noise to be having to have one more uh, screen which show out which is 80% fluff, random data points, and 10% actual substance.
Okay. So while I was doing my market research before the launch, and I know why we have built this product and what all USPs we have for the product. But to answer the people who are watching this video, what was that one uncomfortable truth that about cloud security that you said that we have to build this product and help all the security and cloud teams in the market?
Yeah, we worked with a really large org,
Yeah.
uh, $1 billion plus company, and they were not a traditional company, but they were a tech first company. So they had thousands and thousands of AWS multi-cloud servers, and they of course they had a huge team for their cloud security, and
Mhm.
they had just finished an engagement with uh, security team of one of these big cloud providers itself, and still they felt that they needed more, so they got in touch with us, and this is a few years ago, and they were like, hey, we've just wrapped up an engagement, but still we want to have an external party also reviewing our cloud security posture, so can you guys help? uh, we're like, we'd love to work with you, but we do not know what value add we can do if this big giant that has created this cloud, their own security team has vetted and worked with you guys. But they said that give your best shot. Let's try, because they were like super security cautious, and they were handling a ton of personal data of users too.
Yeah.
We started working with them. It took about, it was a good 4 5 months or long engagement that we worked on the first go. And the type of things that we ended up detecting, be it misconfigurations, the type of vulnerabilities in their cloud environment, we were surprised. We hadn't expected that we'll be finding all of this.
Yeah.
So that's when that's the first time where the thought of creating something like this got triggered in my head. This is a couple of years ago, so we didn't even start working on our cloud vulnerability scanner or a CSPM tool, whatever we're going to call it,
Yeah.
at all. But that's when the first I thought that there's clearly a market,
Mhm.
because most of the teams are compliant on paper, but real risks actually live in production.
Yeah.
So we realized that visibility without any sort of validation was just giving a lot of companies false confidence. So
Yeah.
we decided to fix that and created this.
Okay, so you said that you were also surprised after seeing so many vulnerabilities detected in the cloud infra. So my next question to you would be: there are so many security tools, cloud security tools in the market. Why do you think there are breaches so common, the exploitation or the IM policy risk? Why they are so common nowadays, in spite of having so many tools in the market?
Got it. I'm really interested in this front to see how this will play out going forward with AI, because we've got a now AI DevOps engineer, AI DevSecOps engineers. So I'll be curious to see how these AI engineers actually fare out on security. So,
Yeah.
but this definitely, I feel, to certain degree, will open up the attack surface. All these IAM policies, all that. I'm sure there's some probability of these uh, tools not having enough context, because they will be running in a particular environment and not entirely the entire infrastructure of an organization. And context might be a challenge, and which might cause such breaches. But yes, cloud is infinitely increasing in any org. The growth of the org is probably sometimes directly proportional to their cloud spends or the cloud infrastructure and resource addition. So that forever increasing infrastructure, but there's not forever increasing security tap on this infrastructure, which causes a bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
And this combined with the fact that organizations feel that if you passed certain audits, you are secure.
Yeah.
So audits, I feel, check intent, and attackers end up exploiting reality.
Mhm.
So that's something that is a bit of a gap which causes these breaches still, and I feel they'll still continue happening.
Yeah, true. I agree. So like there are multiple security dangerous exploitations that is happening around multiple cloud infrastructure. So Do you believe that there are still myths around cloud security, around enterprises, which still exist? And uh, do you know any one of the myths around cloud security?
That's an interesting one. Let me think.
I think.
Yeah, I feel there are.
One of the myths that I have discovered is that people think that once you discover the vulnerabilities, they are good. Like they have detected the vulnerabilities now, even if they don't do the remediation steps or don't rectify those vulnerabilities, they are aware of what all exploitations can happen in the environment. So I think they don't do any further steps to resolve those vulnerabilities and don't take it as seriously as they should.
Oh, yes, that could be it. That, knowing that there's a risk also is some sort of a comfort, because then they feel that
Yeah,
that certain risk is there and I know what it is. Probably I'll come around fixing it in a while. So I know what you're saying. Yes, that can be it. And what I was also thinking is that people feeling that if they've passed an audit or if they have a tool in place, and by the way, I'm going to be super honest and I include Astra also in it, that if they feel that they've got a tool in place, it could be an AWS inspector or some other tool which is detecting vulnerabilities, they are good. And if they've just taken one sprint of detecting vulnerabilities, of fixing vulnerabilities, then they are good. But probably it has to be a lot more regular exercise where, let's say 3 points or 5 points every sprint have to be dedicated on security and ensuring that you are locking down an infrastructure. Because I've seen people just get a lot too easy that, I mean, in prior cases, what I used to see is that people used to have a geo restriction on access of their cloud
mhm,
or whatever infrastructure, and they say that, oh, this is geo restricted, nothing can happen, no worries. So I'll not worry
yeah,
about security. I'll not even sanitize anything because it's geo restricted application or it's a geo restricted cloud. But I
yeah,
feel that is so much not true. We've seen how hackers actually attack employees of the org, get that geo access remotely somehow, and then through machines or whatever, and then no, that geo restriction goes for a toss. So such mindset often becomes a challenge.
I couldn't agree more. I truly agree. So I have seen there multiple tools who talk about we are proof driven. We provide proof to your security posture. But what does really the term proof mean in terms of cloud security, and why does that matter so much?
Sure, pretty straightforward answer for that for me, right? I feel large clouds move way too fast.
Mm-hmm.
The setups are pretty heavy. They are more resource intensive. Then there's now a layer of AI models also sitting on these clouds. Each cloud has their way of consuming models and they are natively giving. So offensive validation essentially lets us keep up with reality without slowing down teams in any way. So I feel that is something which is an approach that one should look at.
Yeah, makes sense. So we when we say that even in our marketing messages and when we were discussing about the messaging framework and everything around cloud security, posture management, Astra chose a different approach, that is agentless, offensive first approach for the cloud security. What does that mean? Can you explain in brief? Yeah.
Sure. That essentially means that the approach doesn't, it's something which is super hands off in the sense that it does not require complex configurations or deployment on your cloud, yet it is able to give effective and similar quality results in an agentless fashion. We do not ask you for putting our agent in your infrastructure or access which requires possibly write permissions or any of the permissive roles that are in IAM policy. It's whatever maximum we require is a read-only access, and from there we are continuously offensively scanning and looking your cloud how a hacker does and validating the found vulnerabilities to ensure that they effectively uh, they essentially matter in your environment also. So this doesn't really slows down the team and makes it a continuous process, because security should be continuous.
Yeah, makes sense. I'm really surprised that you're answering all the questions really well. I think you're always prepared for the questions.
Just
That's why
we've been doing some customer calls these days, so a lot of questions come there.
I think with you only spontaneous session will work the best for me.
Yes, absolutely. We should do these more often. I
Yeah,
mean, provided like they are at a time when like every one of us is like looking sharp.
yeah,
Yeah.
true. I have just couple of few last questions around the cloud security. So, how do we at Astra validate that a cloud risk is actually exploitable? What are the parameters that makes it the severity high, medium, or low?
Sure. I'll just uh, build on top of what I just said. We simulate real hacker attack paths against configurations and um, vulnerabilities that we discover. And if it cannot be abused, it doesn't make it a dashboard. It's pretty straightforward. So that's
Yeah.
how essentially we go ahead and make sure that the only exploitable misconfigurations and exploitable paths make it to the results that customers see. And if it's a vulnerability but it cannot be exploited in your context, probably it's something low in the system as an informational item that you want to take care of.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. One last question, Shikhil, for you. So who is this product for? Is it for DevOps, security, or is it for everyone who's facing some kind of exploitation on their cloud infra, or startups? Like some clarity on that.
I'll say the product is for all of them. Astra's vulnerability scanner caters all three personas, but for different reasons. Uh, Security team gets proof and actual results that they can work with. DevOps gets clarity and something that truly takes them from DevOps to DevSecOps. It helps them in journey. Of course, not the entire piece, but
Yeah.
one important cloud piece is taken care of them. And for founders, they get confidence that their cloud environment is super secure. So that's something that is super assuring as a founder, because you don't want to be walking into a demo knowing uh, you've just gotten breached. So
Yeah, makes sense. I think that was the questions I wanted to ask you, and the fact that we have recorded the session, I think it will be really helpful for the people and insightful for many watching us. And the fact that we are matching today, that is great.
yes,
Yeah.
that's good to see.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time today, Shikhil, and hopefully we'll do more such sessions in the future.
Absolutely, Ranji. Thank you so much and have a good one. And I'll just now head to a meeting now. So
Yeah.